Kids don't forget.
Kids don't forget.
You kids don't forget.
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 So what is the correct pronunciation of your name?
My name is Yvonna.
It's Yvonna.
Yvonna.
Okay. How you spell that?
Yvonna.
Okay. What have you got and how's it been mispronounced throughout your childhood?
Ivana, Yvonne, Yvonna.
Somebody's literally called you Yvonna?
Yes, my history teacher. Ivana.
Oh, wow.
That's what my aunt called me, Ivana.
What were some of your nicknames growing up?
Cheesy, Von Dutch.
Wait, who called you Cheesy?
That was in like
Middle school-ish?
middle school.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Von Dutch.
That was the people from the block.
Okay, and that was a popular clothing line, like maybe like 10, 13 years ago.
Yes.
Right, everybody was wearing Von Dutch in Philly and in Jersey. Yep,
Yes.
in Camden, that like South Jersey area.
Vanna, Von. That's what my aunt and them call me Von.
Okay.
There's a few others.
You had said Giggles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Giggles. Giggles. Babs.
Babs.
A few others.
Who calls you Babs Bunny?
It was a guy in church
Okay.
that gave me that name. Really, he just thought he said I was cute like that bunny.
That was his way to get in, so he called you Babs. Got it.
Yes.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia.
You from Philadelphia? You're a Philly girl.
I am.
Born and raised?
Yeah.
Okay. What section?
Southwest West Philly.
You're from Southwest / West Philly. Okay. Explain that.
Both.
You grew up in both. Okay.
So I started out on 68th and Lindbergh. I've always
68th and Lindbergh is where?
Southwest.
That's in Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where like the old Italians used to live at.
Okay.
On that strip. And
Okay.
I also stayed on 57th and Spruce.
Which is in?
West Philly.
That's in West. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
How far is that? How far are the two blocks from each other driving? Would you say?
Driving, I would say I can do it in minutes. So it's about 15 minutes.
Okay. 15 minutes is like completely two different neighborhoods, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you describe your neighborhoods growing up? And what was the difference between the Southwest side and the West Philly side?
Southwest, where I lived at, it was more Italians and Irish when I was growing up.
Okay.
Now, not so much. I guess they moved to South Philly.
Okay.
It's more like Africans now.
Okay. So the whole landscape of the neighborhood has changed since you were a kid.
So it's like it used to be up and running, like thriving. Like everybody used to go to the football games, the basketball games. You get to look at the cheerleaders. The swimming pools was up and running.
Right.
You have everybody was going to the schools in the neighborhood. So you had like the Irish and the blacks and everything still going to school together at Patterson, or they also went to this Catholic school that was in the neighborhood that I think that was off of Elmwood Avenue as well.
Okay.
But it's definitely different now. Now, West Philly, that's where, mostly us color folks at.
Okay.
Is in West
Right,
Philly.
right. Mostly black people.
A little, I wouldn't say rough. Like, my childhood wasn't really rough. I I was one of the ones that just was cool wherever I would go. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
I
right.
didn't have those type of issues. Like I stayed in the farm in the summertime.
Right,
I stayed. I went when I was like in the ninth grade. I went to this upper bound program.
Right. Oh, we're gonna get into that too.
So, you know, I was never like the kid that used to get into stuff. Like, I'm not saying I didn't get into fights.
Did you see the Wu-Tang Saga, the television show? So in
Are
like
you talking about the Asian one or the
Nah,
one
nah,
from
nah.
Rise?
the RZA one, the RZA the Wu-Tang rappers, the rap group.
No, I have not.
All right, so anyway, in the beginning when they were showing like Method Man, like so it was two rival neighborhoods where they were from on Staten Island, and Meth was cool with like people from both. So every time he was in somebody's neighborhood, he was like, "I'm good everywhere. I'm good everywhere." So,
But you have to be though, because that's the only way you can survive.
okay,
You know what I'm saying? Like West Philly is not the easiest because you always had the turf wars
okay.
from the blocks. You
Like
know?
what blocks, for example? Like who was the main blocks always in something?
My memory don't.
But just the blocks,
Don't.
period.
But like I know down the bottom it was a war.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You had like people don't know. Some people don't know that it's different territories inside of West Philly. So you had the bottom. You had like the north side, south side. You had like if you live by Kelly Drive. You know what I'm saying? You got Fairmount. You know.
Okay.
So you had like these different sectors.
So West Philly is that big where it's a north and south and west side of West
because
Philly?
you either live on the south side of Market or on the north side of Market.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
that's where you get your north side, south side. You got Girard Avenue.
Right.
You know, Girard Avenue, you know, if couldn't go certain places on Girard Avenue. You couldn't go certain places on like Pine Street. You couldn't go to certain places like on Ethan Street.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you had like 57th Street against 52nd Street. You know, like those little
block,
things.
well, right,
Yeah.
neighborhoods, right. Okay. Got it. So with that being said, were you an only child?
No,
Okay. Are you the oldest or the youngest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. So what would you say is the age gap between you and your youngest sibling that you grew up with?
Well, okay, so the sibling part is a little complicated.
Okay.
So from my mother,
Okay.
I have a younger brother.
Okay.
We
How much
are-
older are you?
How old is he? We might be 3-4 years apart.
Okay, so if you're 10, he's 7 or 6.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that's why I'm sitting up here like that. How old is he? Is he 30 or 31? So but I know it's like a couple years in between us.
Okay.
So my father has other children, which are my half siblings.
Right.
So the baby would be Rufus, and he's in his 20s still.
Right. So if you're 10 years old, Rufus is like
26, 25 or something like that.
Okay.
Because I'm not
Oh,
sure.
you mean today? So
Yeah.
if you are 10 years old, how old is Rufus?
He might be like probably like about 3.
Right. Okay. And then you got 3, well, 2 other little brothers from your dad.
I have others. So I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
So there's me.
Okay.
There's Kenneth.
Okay.
I think Ricky is next in that line.
Right.
Maybe Kevin.
Okay.
Bilal.
Got it.
Rufus.
Got it. Okay. And then you mentioned Reggie and Raymond.
Reggie and Raymond are my god brothers who there is no distinction with me because we all like grew up together.
Okay.
Except for the my younger brother started to, be around.
Okay.
I watched them before my father had to move up to York, PA.
Got it.
But we always kept in close contact. They still got on my nerves no matter how near or far that they are because I was that standing point for them of
Right.
stability.
Okay.
Because even though that whatever the situation was between our parents,
Right.
I'm not the type of sister to be like, oh, well, since you're not from this and your mom did this, this is why I'm going to treat you like this.
Got it.
You know, so I'm like, it's not their fault. You know, they don't, nobody asked to be here.
Right. Facts.
You know, we just become born because of whatever purpose that we have.
Okay.
So, I always take, even now they call me whenever they need me or whenever they want to get on my nerves and talk crap. And I'm cool with that. Reggie and Raymond, I literally grew up with them.
Okay.
Literally, like, they're...
And they were older, so they were your protectors?
Right.
Okay.
So, their mother is my godmom.
Okay.
And we lived right around the corner from each other.
Okay.
And they used to... They wound up having to walk us home from school and stuff like that. Like, literally, like, the little sister and brother. Because my brother, Kenneth, was always getting into trouble.
Got it. All right. So with that being said, you clearly did not grow up the entire 18 years with both your mom and your dad.
Clearly not.
So with that being said, I guess I'll phrase it this way at first. Did you grow up with just your mom or just your dad, or were there like different time periods, or neither?
So, okay, that's a little complicated too, and I'll tell you why.
Loaded question.
Because I stayed with my mom.
You stayed with your mom. Okay.
Initially, when I became of a certain age, I wound up living with my great grandmother.
Your great grandmother.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm really a great grandma's baby.
What's great grandma's name?
Reba Wise.
Shout out to Miss Reba.
So I'm really a grandparent's kid. So that's how I learned how to cook, do stuff. Some people say I have an old soul, but
Right.
I'm always around the older people.
Right.
And then from there, I moved with my grandma.
Okay. Now,
That's
would
the
this
name
be
of her.
your great grandmom's daughter?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What's grandma's name?
Reba Burnside,
Really? So both their names are Reba.
but spelled differently.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So my great grandmom is Reba,
Right.
and my grandmother is Rheba.
Oh, okay. 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 Right. Okay. Cool. So you never lived with your dad?
No.
Really? Okay.
I spent when he was in West Philly, because he lived on Diamond Street.
Right.
And I spent the night over there to watch my brothers when he lived in Philadelphia.
Okay.
But when he moved, I didn't go and stay over there. No.
Okay. So let's talk about this. So you had really you had two parents, then you had great grandmom and grandmom.
And Pop-Pop.
And Pop-Pop.
Because I had my father's father in my life.
Okay.
And my grandmom on that side as well.
So let's talk about your relationship with all your parents, all the people you can consider your parents. Let's start with your mom. How was your relationship with her growing up?
It was okay. Me and my mom kind of sort of butt heads. I'm very strong-headed. I know what I want, and I don't be trying to hear nothing what nobody's saying.
Right.
My mom is a little bit... Sometimes she can be a little bit flighty. Love her to death.
Right.
But sometimes it's like the clash of the personalities. You know how you... Sometimes I felt as though there's some things, in some ways, that I have to... It almost feel like I'm raising my parents.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Well, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
So my mom... So my mom is like an attention person. Like
Okay.
she likes attention.
Got it.
I'm not that way. Like I'm cool by myself off in the corner somewhere in my room all day, and I thrive that way.
Okay.
I'm not very sociable.
Okay.
I'm not. My mom wants to be the social butterfly. She wants the attention. She wants to have the party. She wants, just she just liked the limelight a little bit.
Okay. You're the opposite.
I'm very much the opposite. Like I rather do things in the background.
Okay.
And I don't mind not being acknowledged for it because I know that I was there for it.
Right.
And that's enough for me.
And the people who were there, they know.
Right. Like
Got it.
I don't need all of the glitz and glamour and glory. I'm not very glamorous at all.
Okay.
So,
right.
me
In
and
your
my
own
mom
mind,
just-
other people might do think you're glamorous. People gonna watch this video and be like, "Oh, she is gorgeous." So stop
I
it.
don't think so. I don't think so.
So that's your mom. How
Yeah,
was
that's
your
my mom.
relationship growing up with your father?
My dad is very complicated. My dad, so my dad was like my dad was a street dude.
Okay.
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 When I was a baby, maybe even a little younger, my dad used to box.
Really?
He was a boxer. He
Okay.
used to box out of the executioners. His nickname was Rabbit.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when I was about 1 or 2, he was somewhere where he wasn't supposed to be,
Okay.
and he got shot in the face.
Ooh.
The bullet lodged in his eye, took out his eye, and it lodged itself in his skull. He survived, but mentally he wasn't there no more because his career, his dream was shattered.
Got it.
So he was always in pain, and I think what was happening was his turmoil began.
Okay.
Like I guess almost like his own little hell.
Okay.
So, and I say that because he turned to drugs, he turned to alcohol, he wanted the pain to stop. He couldn't really get a job, because who was going to work with a guy that has one eye,
Right.
who's having headaches, and my dad can be very angry. He can be very difficult to deal with. He's
Okay.
very opinionated, and he will fight. He didn't give a shit about that bullet. He will fight you, So
I needed your dad growing up. I needed him to be my man's in them growing up.
He's a humdinger. My father, he was the go-to person for everybody. So you had a problem, my dad was the person to solve it.
Okay.
Whatever it is, especially out in the street.
Right.
That's who my father was.
Okay.
He was a hack man.
Okay. Right.
For those in Philly knows that all the hack men be on 52nd Street
Okay.
in West Philadelphia.
Right.
And I had a cousin that used to have a stand out there.
Okay.
Whose name is Bilal. That's who my brother is named after.
Okay.
And they used to be out there, and I used to go out the. I walked everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was a walker as well, so I used to walk down there just to see my dad. Because I knew that's where he was at. I could put my hands on him.
Right.
I knew I was going to get a gold chain because he knew Akbar or whatever.
Right. Right.
I knew who had all the jewelries, all the letter
Earrings.
earrings and stuff I don't even wear.
Right.
He would get I'm cool with just a chain, Dad. Like I had a beeper because he knew somebody in the thing. I had a pager as soon as they came out.
Right.
I didn't use it.
Okay.
But my dad was that person. Now I can tell you that my dad never been to he never been to a graduation
Of yours.
of mine.
Right.
He never been to anything like a milestone
Okay.
that I've accomplished.
Okay.
He hasn't been there, but I had my grandpa.
Okay. Okay.
My dad was it was weird. Like even in kindergarten, he didn't go to my kindergarten. I have no pictures with him and no graduations.
Okay.
But my grandfather I did.
Okay. So overall, your dad was a complicated person. But he did his best to try to spoil you.
This is what I say. Just because your parents are your parents doesn't mean that they actually know what they're doing.
Right.
And
that's the truth for you can kind of roll the dice with any person. Just because
yeah.
you got pregnant doesn't mean you're ready to be a mom or the
Right.
guy is ready to be a father. Right.
And it's a learning process for everybody. It
Right.
just depends on how good are you at learning.
Right. Right.
So, I know my parents love me.
Okay.
Some of the avenues be kind of sort of messed up, but I mean, it is what it is. I just took them for face value. This is who my parents are.
Okay.
Once I see a pattern, I know that pattern suits them. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I know that I can only expect this much from them because that's all they have to offer because they don't know how to do anything else.
Got it.
If that makes sense.
It does make sense.
And that's who my parents was. Now, my father gave me my street smarts. He going to tell me the game. He's going to tell me what to watch out for. You know, if I'm walking the street at night, where to walk at, what to yell out if somebody's trying to hurt me.
Okay.
To get people to pay attention.
Got it.
You never say rape if you're about to be raped. You call out fire.
Right.
Because
Right.
everybody look when you say fire.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So he gave that in me. So I appreciate all of the knowledge that he gave me, whether it's a phone conversation, and the little beads of knowledge that he could instill. That's what he can do. That's all he had for me.
Okay.
My grandfather was the one that took me on trips.
Grandpa what?
Huh?
Grandpa what?
Gerald.
Grandpa Gerald. Shout out to Grandpa Gerald. He took you on trips.
Yeah, he took me, like, that's how I got to, my grandparents showed me the world.
Okay.
I travel with my grandmom all the time.
Really?
I do.
Where have you guys gone?
So, we went to Punta Cana. We go to Jamaica. We go to Bahamas. We go to, I think we're going to plan another trip somewhere else.
So you are a minority. You're one of the few kids who got to see the world outside of Philly, outside of West Philly.
Right.
So many inner city kids have only seen their neighborhood.
Right. Like, I stayed in Disney World, and it wasn't even from my parents. It was from, like, I think I went with my grandfather one year. I went with my grandma another year.
Right.
And then I was in an Upper Bound program and got to go again.
Okay.
You know, so I've been there 3 times.
Right.
Before I hit 18.
Okay.
You know, so by the time, you know, everybody else is talking about going, I'm like, well, damn, I did that shit.
Right. Got it.
But that's why I said my childhood is a little complicated.
But you had a support system.
I did.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Which makes you another minority. A lot of kids especially from where you from in West Philly, don't have a support system.
Right. So
it's
that's why I
literally
say
a dice
I'm
roll.
literally my grandparents' kid.
Okay. Got it.
So it's funny because my grandma acts more like my mother. My mother is more like my sister, and so is her brother. Her brother is more like my brother.
Okay.
So the family gets it kind of sort of misconstrued. Like, no, my mother is Candy.
Right.
Like, that's who my mother is, not Billy.
Right. Got it. So I bet that you don't remember all the schools you went to growing up.
I've been to Penrose.
Wait, all right, so Penrose was what? Let's go.
Now listen. So
do you remember where you went to elementary school?
You talking about when, like in?
No, not when.
Year?
Where?
I went to 2.
You went to 2 elementary schools.
I went to Penrose and I went to Patterson.
Penrose and Patterson are both in West Philly, Southwest?
Southwest.
Okay. Which one did you like better?
I wound up staying at Patterson.
Okay.
I graduated at Patterson. But even before that, I went to Christian Academy that used to be on Larchwood.
Okay.
60th and Larchwood.
Oh, that's West Philly.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was that's as close as Catholic school I was getting. Okay.
Did you like or not like Catholic school?
It's very strict.
Very strict, okay.
Very strict. But it instilled in me the knowledge as a kindergartner.
Right.
Like to remember the books of the Bible. So now I can point out that, okay, the new Bibles that's coming out, they took this out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
because when I was growing up, this was in the Bible because I had to recite the Bible every day.
Right. Okay, got it. You mentioned that Christian Academy was second grade, like the beginning of second grade or second grade for you, right?
Okay, so I kind of sort of got kicked out.
You got kicked out in second grade?
What happened was there was this teacher. I love her to death now, but she was.
Oh, you still know her?
Miss Atwell.
Miss Atwell.
Love her to death.
Okay.
However, I got wrongly accused for something.
Somebody lied on you.
It's not my fault.
Got it.
And I got hit with a paddle. It would look like a cricket.
Right, a cricket
And
paddle,
I
right.
accidentally kicked her.
You accidentally kicked her.
But it wasn't my fault. I
Got
stand
it.
by that. Listen, it was not my fault. It was an accident.
So,
And I think I got called in the office that day. And,
Okay.
And I wound up being my last year there, so I wound up going to Patterson.
to Patterson, okay. And Patterson is in West Philly.
Southwest.
Southwest. Okay. Now, where'd you go to middle school?
George Wharton Pepper.
George Wharton Pepper. Did you
Southwest.
do and that's also in Southwest. Okay. Did you do the whole middle school there?
Yes, I did.
So 6th to 8th.
Yes.
6th to 8th grade? Okay. Do you remember that graduation? You remember your 8th grade graduation? And even if you don't remember it, you just know for a fact that your dad wasn't there.
Yeah, I know who wasn't present.
You know? Like, I remember more who wasn't present. Isn't that crazy, too? When you're expecting somebody to be there, it's 99 people there, but you remember that one person who was supposed to come that didn't. Right.
Because quiet as it kept, I was always closer to my dad.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
quiet as it's kept. And
Right.
I say that, like, I'm not an emotional, what you would call an emotional kid.
Okay.
I'm not even an emotional adult. I kind of sort of take things the way it is, and I see things from face value. So I know that I'm close to my dad. I know I'll get a phone call. He was good at phone calls. And that's about it. That's where it was going with that.
Okay.
Hey, I'm happy that you did this, that, and the third.
Right.
And da-da-da. So sometimes my dad, when he was high, he sounded like Kevin Hart's dad.
Right. Oh, yeah, right. How Kevin Hart described his pop.
My dad just I love my dad, but he was an intellect
Okay.
a little bit and a conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
Which 9 times out of 10 he might not even be wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So, but me and him used to go back and forth about stuff just because I wanted to pick his brain just to see what he was going to say. You know, because my grandfather is an historian.
Okay.
He has a plethora of books and knowledge that I like to soak up. So
Really?
I always, yes.
Do you have a favorite one that you like to read growing up?
No, I can't never get too close to his books. He's not really. So I told him just put it in his will that I get his books.
Really? Okay. That's all you
Because
want.
I think I'm the only person that would actually use them.
Got it.
Because I'm more like him.
Okay.
Because I'm a researcher. I like to research things on my time off.
And you're a reader.
Yes. I don't need a whole bunch of internet. Like, I like to just research things, supernatural things, you know, the history. Instead of, like, people get caught up in the religion part,
Right.
but they don't understand the history.
Right.
So in order to figure out what's happening now, you kind of sort of got to go back into history because a lot of things hasn't changed. It's just modernized.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
So he helps me pinpoint things. They'll say, well, you know, the way this is intended was for this, that, and the third.
Right.
So this is not really far-fetched if you know what happened then.
Okay. Got it. So you graduate from Pepper, and you go to where? Bartram. Now
I'm a Bartram Braves girl.
Okay. Is Bartram? Bartram is also in Southwest Philly.
Southwest.
Okay.
If anybody knows about John
Okay.
Bartram.
Now, what year did you graduate?
2003. We were the last class
Of the 90s, of 99, right? You came in.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And we were the last class that actually had Bartram. If anybody know of the older Bartram, you had like 5 or 6 different sectors of Bartram.
Really?
That came together.
In one building.
Not in one building,
Okay.
but for sports and stuff, we all would come together.
Okay.
So, you had like main building is which I went to. Then you had communications, you had human services, then you had the Bartram motivation, can't forget those.
Okay.
And a couple of others. So I mean,
So you might have went to Bartram, but you might have been in a different building than someone
Right.
else. Interesting. Okay.
right. But when we played sports, we all came together as
All
one.
right, so no matter what building you were in,
Right,
everybody
you were
went to the
going out to
same
the
gym
field.
for football. Okay,
Right,
okay. It was
so-
one basketball team, one football team,
Right.
one track team.
So,
Got it.
and I take pride in my high school sports. So our basketball team was awesome because we won the chip.
Okay,
Football team won chip.
nice, nice.
Our baseball team, female and male, was doing their thing.
Right.
I was part of the women's softball team. I did.
Really, you played softball? What position?
I did shortstop.
Shortstop, really? Okay, so you're really athletic out there. The shortstop is typically the most athletic person on the team.
Yeah, but I didn't think so. I didn't think so. I was like, why the hell do I got to run? If I wasn't there, I'm like, yo, just put me in the outfield.
Right.
Like, let me just catch the ball in the outfield.
It sounds like you had a great high school experience.
Phenomenal.
Really?
Everybody thinks Bartram was bad. I mean, we got into a couple fights. We might have shot one principal, or he might have shot himself. We weren't bad. Like, not all of us.
Right,
we were actually pretty smart. They had like the little 24 competitions with the cars to play 24.
Okay.
I did rowing. I did spelling bees.
Right.
I did like a couple things. So I don't have. That's why I said like my childhood was complicated.
Okay.
You know, because I had good parts along as well as, you know, some not so good parts.
Okay.
But as far as, you know, my high school is concerned, I was happy where I was at. I got into fights.
Okay.
You know, but it is what it is. Who don't fight?
People were starting with you for the most.
I don't never start a fight.
Okay.
I will never start a fight because that's not in my demeanor. But
Okay.
I will finish it. If you make me mad enough, you're gonna have a problem.
You remember any specific incidents?
Yes.
Okay.
Because one was when I first got there. I was a freshman.
Okay.
And it was these upperclassmen who I guess felt as though that they wanted to go and do whatever they do with the freshmen.
Right.
I'm not that freshman.
Right. They was hazing.
Yeah. So it was a girl trying to show off for some guys or whatever.
Right.
And her friends, and it was bad for her. Real bad.
Got it.
I tried.
So that's what set it off. In ninth grade, you like, look, it's not that type of party.
Yeah. It was bad, and I only say that is because like all her pictures for prom was going to be messed up because she bit me and I bit that ass right back, right where everybody was going to see it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that was a bad. I had to get tetanus shot for that fight.
Really? Oh, wow.
Did I? I had braces.
Oh,
She
and when
bit
you
me.
bit her, it was a rat.
I had it in the headlock, and when she bit me, I just went ahead and bit her forehead.
So you were a city girl. You got along with everybody, but you fought a lot. How does how does that work if you get along with everybody, but you teeing off on people?
Well, my stature was smaller.
Okay,
You know,
I
so,
totally understand. As soon as you say that, I light skin, right?
Who smiles a lot.
Okay,
Who's kind of sort of look a little geekish.
right.
Who don't bother nobody.
You're an easy
But,
target for some people.
I think I got targeted a lot.
Right.
And it's never really people my size. It's
Right.
always people
Bigger than you are.
bigger than me. But you have to also remember, I'm a natural protector.
Okay, right.
You know, because
Right.
I have brothers. So I fought guys a lot.
Okay,
You know, because you're not going to just chase my brother home.
Got
That's
you.
not what we're going to do.
right.
So,
right.
So I fought them, you know.
Okay.
So me fighting, it's a natural for me because my father was a fighter.
Okay.
You know, so all his kids fight. I just don't start fights. I will humbly back down.
Right.
You know, humbly back. I have no problem. I don't give a shit if I look like a punk.
Right.
I'm gonna listen. All right, cool.
You cool
got
with
it.
talking it out and letting it go and be like,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to let bygones be bygones because nobody feel like, because fighting get corny after a while, right?
I'm not I don't like the fight.
Right.
Like contrary to popular beliefs, I just don't. Because one, that means fighting a female, they like to scratch.
Facts.
Listen, you're not going to scratch my face up.
Right.
Not going to do it. And it's never a challenge fighting a female. When you come from somebody who's fighting boys.
Your whole life.
My whole entire life.
Right.
Like tearing up streets
right.
in West Philly. Because somebody to knock down my grandma.
Right.
I'm not going to sit up here and fight you. Because I already know my strength. I fight boys
right.
all the time.
Right.
My brothers, I kicked my brother down a whole flight of steps. Like we gladiators in that house.
Right.
So, so to fight a female is like, come on, man, what are you doing?
Speaking of high school, do you remember your first ever job?
I do.
Where'd you work? What was your first job?
My very first job or my job in high school?
Let's do both. What was your very first job? So your very first job was before high school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My very first job was when I was 2. My grandma has owned a bar called Billy Boomers on 52nd Street.
In West Philly.
In West Philly.
Okay.
So my grandma is scared to death of mice.
Okay.
I'm the mice watcher. I got paid in crab cakes.
To look out for mice?
Look out for mice.
And what if you found one?
I did. It was in a trash can, and I was talking to it. And my grandma was like, well, who the hell are you talking to? And I said, them in the trash can, and she left me.
She was like, I'm going.
I've been left a couple times in my childhood as a little girl.
Right. So with that being said, that developed your love for animals.
Yeah, I've always had a niche for animals. I don't know where it really came from. I've never been scared of any type of animal or bug.
So what did you have growing up?
I had hamsters.
Okay. Did you name your pets?
I did.
You remember your hamster's name?
Alan.
Alan.
Alan Iverson.
Oh, really? You named your hamster after Alan Iverson?
I did. Because I was going to love on that hamster.
Okay.
I was going to love on that hamster. Because I just had a thing for Alan Iverson.
Right,
I don't know what it was.
Right.
Like, I used to go to the basketball games and just watch them.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay, you had Alan.
I had turtles.
Okay.
I think my uncle ate my turtle.
He ate it? ATE?
Yeah, ate.
Ow, how do you eat a turtle?
I came back from somewhere and my turtle was gone.
Okay.
My grandma said that little might have ate it.
Okay.
So,
You had hamsters, you had turtles.
I had there was a I think it was a boa constrictor or a python.
Wow. So you were a snake woman.
I have a snake now.
Really? What's your snake's name?
Orion.
Orion. Okay.
That's my baby.
Okay.
That's my love bug. I had him for 15 years. He was given to me by my Aunt Ev.
Okay.
Before she passed. She was into the reptile thing. So my cousin's joke is always like, well, your mom is probably meant to be my mom, and you're probably meant to be my mom's daughter.
Right.
Because me and Aunt Ev, she's like a short little Irish woman.
Okay.
Who you just love and adore. And she always had the snakes, the mice. She had, I think, the python and the corn snakes, the big long tank. And then she had an iguana, dogs, and something else. My cousin don't really do animals too well.
Okay.
At all.
Okay. But you personally, you go hard.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this list. You like growing up, you had boa constrictor, cats, dogs, fish, sea urchin, starfish, hamsters, hermit crabs.
Yeah, that's about right.
Wow. You had a dog named Coco.
Coco and Timon.
Coco and Timon. You named your dogs after Disney characters.
Listen. Because Because that's what they acted like.
Now, what were Coco and Timon?
They were German Shepherds and Pits mix.
Okay. Wow.
We got them from a neighbor, John.
Okay.
And I love my dogs. They were bad as shit. They ran all through them fields of Southwest. And I will never forget, I think Coco did it because he's a little mischievous than Timon. Timon was like the big brother.
Okay.
So Coco peed on this little girl's pom-pom
Oh.
in the park. And they was having like their little football squad things.
Right.
Yeah, she picked it up.
End of story. You can imagine the rest of that story.
That was a bad John.
So you mentioned that overall, at least growing up, and maybe even still today, you always felt closer to animals than people. Facts?
Yes. Very much factual.
Okay.
I'm very much, because
Why? Let's talk about that. That's interesting.
animals are very intuitive.
Okay.
It's either you're a good person or you're a bad person. And they can see you for who you are.
Okay.
They will love you no matter what.
Okay.
If you think about it, how many times have you beat the shit out your damn dog or cat and they still come back for you to touch them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's only when they know that you're evil they start growling at you. Something is wrong when they just keep growling at a certain person and won't let them move nowhere.
Okay.
Or in a certain spot in the room. You know, they give you signs. They might not be able to talk, but they can give you signs.
Okay.
To be aware of.
Okay.
And they don't care what you look like. Your appearance. You don't have to show off for no animal.
Right. You
know,
don't. You literally don't. There's no fashion show with them.
Right. It's like you are who you are, and they accept you for who you are.
They don't care
no
if you're
matter
tough,
what.
if you're not tough, if you're corny, if you shy.
You don't have to worry about none of that stuff. It's not. They're not competing for nothing.
Right.
And they can be a little spoiled at times, but I think sometimes we do that ourselves.
Okay.
You know, like, but I used to actually want to be a zoologist and a marine biologist.
Really?
I double majored in Penn State
Okay.
for such, but it's just too expensive.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that.
And
So wait, so your problem with not going to school for that was economics,
yeah,
which is like a typical problem for us growing up in the hood. Like economically, we are prevented from doing things that we want to do that maybe kids who grew up in the suburbs like have access to because they have more money.
right.
Right.
So you have to just find other avenues.
So with that being said, if somebody offered you like a zoologist or marine biology position like tomorrow, would you take it? And they say, we'll train you on the job experience.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Because that's really your passion.
Right.
Okay.
And it gives you an adventure.
Okay.
To be able to deal with the whales of the ocean and be able to hear them talk to each other underneath the water. You know, I think that's serene. To be able to see what dolphins actually do, you know, and how they interact with the whales around. I think that's serene.
Okay.
To be able to look at the lion and the lioness, you know, cuddle, or, you know, like, you know, that's their pride, and they all, you know, are on one accord and they love each other. You know, that's awesome to see them and their families.
Wow.
To see the babies that come out. Like, there's a place called John Heinz Wildlife Refuge.
Say it again.
John Heinz Wildlife Refuge.
John Heinz Wildlife Refuge. Where is it?
It's in right by the airport.
In Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right off of Lindbergh Boulevard.
Okay.
I think that's the most serene place because you get to look at the birds and the eagles fly. You know, you get
So
to watch things.
you like that better than the zoo?
I am a nature person.
Okay.
I feel more closer to nature.
So I'm gonna just throw something out there. If you met a guy and let's say you met two guys at the same time and they both wanted to take you out. So you said yes. One guy takes you out on Friday, one guy takes you out on Saturday. You'll decide which guy you like better. Guy A takes you to the mall, buys clothes so you can get dressed so you guys go out, takes you to dinner and a show. Guy B on Saturday takes you on a nature walk. You're going to, like, when you get time to decide, you're going with the guy who took you on a nature walk.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a connection there.
Okay.
I connect more with nature. So
You don't
I'm
care
not
about the
into-
money and being
No.
flashy and
I make money.
I know that's
It's
right.
easy to make. You know, I work for a hospital for a living.
Okay.
So I continually help people. I don't like to shop. I'm not your average or typical female. So
Okay.
you can't come at me with average typical things.
Ah,
Because I don't need anything from you.
right.
You know,
Right.
that walk will help me connect to you more than you spending money on me at the mall.
Got it. Got it. Now, you mentioned that you were also a skater growing up.
But yes,
Where did that come in? Where did skating come in?
that is my get away.
So skating is your release.
Yes.
Right. For me, it's like playing chess. For you, it's skating.
Right.
Right, right.
So I started skating when I was a little girl. Like as soon as
Okay.
I could walk. My
Okay.
mom had the little Fisher Price things strap
Right.
onto your sneakers.
Okay.
I skated at Elmwood Skating Rink.
In Philadelphia.
Yes.
Okay, that was your home base growing up
That
skating
was
rink.
my home base.
Where was it? Where is Elmwood? Or where was it? Was it in West?
It's in Southwest Philadelphia.
In Southwest.
Off of 72nd, I want to say, in Elmwood.
Okay. Was it big, small? How would you describe it?
It's not big.
Okay.
It was like a little. It wasn't too small. I guess you can say it was a little medium, like.
It was enough to have some fun and get a good.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because you only going around in a circle.
Right,
so,
right.
You get to see your friends. I made it my business for every event that all the schools who was in the vicinity always had a skate party.
Okay.
So when I was in middle school, they used to throw the skate party at Elmwood. But I had my own skates.
Right.
I was there. All the kids in the neighborhood was there because that's what we did in the neighborhood. Was
Right.
skate.
Okay.
And you walked to the skating rink because that was our release.
Are you a black skate girl or a white skate girl?
I'm black.
You're black.
Now my mom gave me. See, my mom is very girly.
Okay.
I'm boyish.
Okay.
She bought me the little white skates with the pom poms.
Right.
I didn't like it.
You don't like them?
And I tried to write on them. She was mad. I'm like, let me
So I just paid $150 for those skates. So you gonna write on them?
Yeah, I tagged on them. I took a marker and was tagging. Like, I'm not a pom pom girl.
Right,
You know,
right.
I will never be a cheerleader.
Okay.
You know, I was the person in high school that was like the manager of the teams. So, I'm a black skate girl. I got black skates right now with some roller bones.
I know that's right. So you grew up skating, so you can go backwards, you can increase and decrease speed, you can do all the tricks, you can
Yes.
jump over
Now,
stuff.
I'm not jumping over shit. Y'all just gonna have to move.
Wait, so if somebody fall in front of you,
I'm gonna move. First of all, I see you about to fall because you're doing all, no, I'm gonna go ahead. And if you try to grab, I'm gonna push your ass out of the way. Like,
you ever had that? Like somebody about to fall and try to grab
I got
you?
a mark on my arm from it.
To this day.
Yes, it keloided. That lady dug it. I had to push her off of me.
Ugh.
You're not gonna make me fall. I fall enough by myself back then.
So with all that being said, let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst ever and 10 being the best possible, how would you personally rate your childhood?
You said 10 was what?
10 is the best possible and 1 is the worst ever.
I guess like an 8.
Okay, an 8.
Because I didn't really, again, I did not have, my childhood was complicated.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. I didn't have to worry about food. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Right.
have to worry about, because, I mean, they made sure that we eat, and then I learned how to cook early.
Okay.
You know, because I had my little brother to take care of because my mom was at work.
Right.
So, we were always, I was always taking care of things because my mom couldn't be around.
Okay.
But it's not because she couldn't be around because she was doing this and that and third. She was trying to provide. So I had
Right.
to learn everything early. You know,
Okay.
That's why I was the protector. That's why I learned how to do different things.
Even your first high school job was a local pizza store.
Yes,
Right.
I had actually no.
No.
Avis Rent-A-Car.
Avis Rent-A-Car was your first high school job. Wow. Okay. Okay.
I went and got my worker
Working papers, right?
at like 14 or 16.
Okay.
As soon as I was eligible,
You and I
get
both.
me out of here.
Right.
And I worked in Essington in the turnback section.
Okay.
So when people returned their vehicles, I was the person to clean them. I had to run the VIN numbers, see what the history updates was, update histories if anything was wrong. If there was anything that needed to be ordered, I did that.
Okay.
A lot of inventory work. Wherever they needed me, I learned. I learned how to do keys.
Got you. So how long did you work there?
Like
what grades? Like 11th grade, 10th grade?
I know it was like 1 or 2.
Okay.
Years.
Okay. Interesting. Nah, 8. 8 is a high number. Like you had a pretty good childhood.
I can't say that it was a 7 or a 6. I'll be lying to myself.
What would it had to take for you to have said 9 or 10?
Well, my parents.
Your parents, okay.
If, things were different
Right.
and you be in a wholesome relationship,
Right.
and if both of your parents wasn't, one was flighty, one was just doing his thing out there, it might have been better.
Okay.
But the compensation level of my grandparents exceeded more than what I could ask for.
Okay,
I
got
didn't
it.
have a want for anything. It's just the fact that certain circumstances throughout my life will consider it, an 8 instead of a 9 and a 10.
Got it. So anything that you were missing from your parents, you got from your grandparents.
Right.
That's a support system.
Right. So I can't say that my childhood wasn't great.
Right.
I had a lot of bumps and bruises along the way.
So speaking of that, do you have a worst day or time period of your childhood that you would like to forever forget?
Yes.
Okay. You want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure.
Okay.
So, when I was younger, I had a neighbor when I was living in Southwest.
Okay.
And they were older. It was him and his wife.
Okay.
When my mom was at work, and if we got locked out the house, we would always go over there until she got home.
Why would you get locked out the house?
Because somebody forgets the key.
Ah, got it. Got it.
Because, shucks, I'm young, but I'm doing stuff.
Got you.
I'm actually taking care of somebody else.
Right.
So this particular day, we go over there, and I like to read. Everybody knows I like to read, and I like chocolate.
Okay.
So the husband used to be in it's like a basement area where the garage is at.
Okay.
So me and my brother was going over there or whatever, and I noticed, so I noticed, when somebody's taking special interest.
And you, right.
Right. And the guy was like, oh, well, can you go to the mailbox? And I said, yeah, me and my brother can go. Oh, he can stay. No, he can't.
Right.
So I was like, listen. I said, whatever your plan is, I'll let him go to the mailbox.
Okay.
But because obviously there was something there. I don't know because I'm too young to know.
Got it.
I let my brother go to the mailbox.
Okay.
And that's when, like, you know, a molestation started forming. So...
From the time how long did it take him to go to the mailbox?
Well, you know, kids, they hop, skip, jump, play,
And he probably
talk
did
shit
more
and
than go to
whatever,
the, right.
and come back.
So your
but
brother
my-
left, and what was he doing? Like, what happened?
So it's like, first it starts as the grouping mechanism. You
Okay.
know, they want to group. They want to touch your hair. They want to do... I've always been developed as a young girl.
Got it.
You know, so I've always had some type of form of breast developing.
Right.
I never wore a training bra. I was
Okay.
already in a cup. And I was
Wow.
in elementary school.
Wow. Okay.
You know, so...
Yeah, it was always that
it's
one
like,
girl
it's
at
always
elementary
that
who was
one
more
person
developed.
who-
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I was her.
Okay.
So it started out as that. And then going down the line, it became a little bit more. So my great-grandmother was the one who noticed there was a change because I've always been an honor roll student.
Okay.
You know, I was always part of an honor society or something like that. I
Right.
mean, I fought a lot, but I do good work, you know.
Okay.
And I never liked to miss school. So, my grandma noticed, like, something that was a little strange and off. And
But this would have been after the fact when your grandma noticed that.
yeah, this
So-
would have been, like, maybe, I can't really tell you. It could have been, like, a couple of weeks.
Oh, this was going on. So that was you started talking about the first day, but it had went on for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, like, it's not like it was a one-time thing and
Okay.
then that was it. Like,
So it started with him groping and touching you and went all the way?
I can't really remember because my brain kind of sort of won't let me
Okay.
remember, if that
Okay.
makes sense. Because I guess some type of form of trauma,
You just blocked it out.
it's just blocked. I
Okay.
can't really tell you. I can tell you that I can see, I know that, I know some things that happen as far as like maybe an oral sex, you know.
Okay.
Or maybe the touching and groping.
Right.
Maybe some other things happen.
And this is the freaking next door neighbor that your
Yeah,
family
your next
trusted.
door neighbor. Actually, that's how I learned Spanish. 'Cause
Okay.
They were Spanish too.
Okay.
They were I think they were European Spanish.
Okay.
But I mean, at that point in time, it was like I just want to make sure nothing happens to my brother.
To your brother.
But
Okay.
until this day, he doesn't really know.
He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know.
So your grandma noticed that it was a change in you.
Something- Right.
Okay.
Because I become disconnected. I become detached. So, that's when, my grandma had said something to me. And I can't remember how it came out, but it came out.
Okay.
And my mom went over there to confront my neighbor.
Okay.
And
I know it was pandemonium at your house.
It was-
directly before she
you
left.
know what it is? I know my dad.
Right.
I know my grandfather.
Right.
I don't want them to find out at all.
Gotcha.
That man would have died. People would have been in jail.
Right.
Shit would have hit the fan.
Got it.
So it's
So when your
never-
grandmom said something, your mom was there, and it was only the women there at the house.
Right.
Got
So
it.
only a woman approached the family. You know what I'm saying? Because he was an older man. Like, he was probably, like, in his 70s, 80s.
Ugh.
Like, it's not like he's a young man.
Right.
He's old.
Okay.
you know?
Okay. Okay.
So,
Your mom went over there.
and she confronted him, and it was, oh, no, whatever happened, it transpired. I don't really remember the ins and outs.
Right.
But I can tell you that I had walked past his house. He used to make smart remarks. He was like, oh, you told and da-da-da-da.
Right.
I ignored it and went in the house. A week later, that man died.
Wow.
A week later, that man died.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I never really thought about it then because, again, I'm a child.
Got it. Right.
So you don't put pieces to the puzzles together like that.
And children tend to want to please the people they think highly of.
Right. But I know that in me, I know there was something because I've always known something's off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always one of them kids that be like looking and watching and stuff, and like, okay, I feel like something is wrong.
Okay. So you feel how would you say that this affected you, like the rest of your childhood and into your adulthood, like physically and mentally?
I didn't actually lose my virginity until I was older.
Okay.
And even then, I kind of sort of fought. Because I won't let people get too close to me.
Okay.
And I don't like to feel like pressure. So, like, you can't pressure me into doing anything.
Right.
Because I'm not going to do it. I'll
Right.
clam up on you, and my whole body will just shut down on you.
Okay.
I know that from it, I have to get like different surgeries now as an adult, and would have to probably get IVF.
Okay. Now what's IVF?
In vitro fertilization.
So you can't have kids naturally because of that.
Right.
Wow.
They won't even open up the other side of the fallopian tube to see if I can even pass. They won't do none of that. So, I mean, it's affected me, but it's not to the point where I won't live my life.
Okay.
I have never stayed hooked up on something.
Okay.
Instead, I kind of sort of try to use it to help someone else.
Okay.
So, like, before, I wouldn't even talk about it.
Right.
You know, because I don't remember. So, a lot of things I just can't remember. And my brain just won't let me.
Right.
So I say, okay, I know it happened.
Okay.
I know with who.
Right.
Let's start there.
So you're very courageous for talking about it right now. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I think everybody has a story to tell. My story is not that much different from somebody else's.
Okay.
It's just the fact of how I dealt with them. I
Okay.
didn't choose to do things like drugs or I didn't lash out at nobody.
And in some cases, people went the whole other way.
Right.
This is
like,
how
and I'm not promiscuous by no means.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, sometimes people promiscuity comes from different things that's happened to them in their life that
Right.
people don't know.
Even their sexuality, they become
Right, they
bisexuals
get
or
hyped,
just straight
right.
gay. Right.
So, I mean, you have to know somebody else's story to know their way of thinking.
Okay.
For me, it just made me stronger, a stronger individual, rather. And I'm still able to protect. I would never tell my brother what happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, because I knew that would mess him up. To know that another man touched you and you're not.
And now
Oh,
that
man,
he's
it
an
did.
adult, he was like, "Yo, I was there and I left my sister."
Right, I would never put that on him.
Right. Got
I
it.
would never put that on my dad. I would never put that on my mom. I would never put that on anybody else. Because what happened to me was a test. To me.
Of what?
Who knows?
Okay.
God put people in different situations to build them. Who would I be? If something didn't happen to me then, what would I be now?
I hear that, but that wasn't supposed to necessarily happen.
It was already written.
You think so? Okay.
It was already written. In order for this is only a replay of you're only playing out what's already written.
Okay.
And for some things, is always I've always been close to the church.
Okay.
You know, I never resented God. God took that man out of here in a week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you thought that you was going to get away with something. Because there was no.
So what happened to him, by the way? You said
I think he had a heart attack.
he had a heart attack the very next week. Wow.
He had a heart attack.
Okay.
The fact that I know that God is on my side is enough for me.
Got it.
You know, because that means no matter what I go through, it's going to work itself out.
Okay.
And it has. Because a couple more times, I know how to deal with a situation now.
Okay.
You know, I know what to look for with somebody looking to groom a young girl. I know what to look for when I know that this little girl is being touched and her parents don't know yet.
Got it.
But because she's clammed up the way she is, I know how to approach her.
Okay.
Because I can share my story to help her with hers.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So it's always a reason. You know, I had a little girl in the back of my ambulance. I had to take to Friends. She was raped by her cousins.
Okay.
And she contracted herpes from it.
Okay.
She wanted to kill herself.
Understandably so.
I shared my story with her. And I gave her like little things that she could do to help her.
Okay.
It's like, okay, like I'm not by myself. You know, because
right.
we be so quick to throw these kids in mental institutions, but we never get down to the bottom of what demon is on them.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to deal with it. You have to be able to talk about it. Because it's not going to change nothing.
Right.
So that's why I feel as though, like, okay, it happened for a reason. And I was able to move on.
And so with that being said, let's move on. Let's let's flip to positive. Do you have a favorite childhood day that occurred where if you could go back to it right now, you would?
I have so many.
Okay. You mentioned that you like you love zoos growing up. You love traveling.
So the zoo, you can take me on a date as an adult to a zoo.
Okay.
And I would be the happiest person on earth.
Okay, right.
Because I like to talk to the monkeys.
Okay.
And I like to talk to the animals in general. I like to watch them.
Okay.
SeaWorld was a good spot for me.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Seeing my high school win the championship was awesome.
Right.
Especially as a senior.
What sport?
Basketball and football.
They won the championship your senior year, both years?
Yes.
Wow.
Both teams.
Bartram was nasty.
We have the best players in the city.
Did
Our
any
rivals was grits.
Do you have anybody on your team that eventually went to the pro leagues, NFL or NBA?
Yeah, I do know. I've heard that I used to call him Slinky, that he was playing across seas or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he still do.
Right.
But he was tall as shit.
He was dominating. So let me ask you this. You may have already answered this question. If you did, that's cool. Do you feel like there's anything that occurred in your childhood that changed your life, like forever, like positively or negatively?
Besides the story I just told?
Besides the story you just told. That might be it.
I think that affected me in both ways.
Okay. Right.
Because what was meant to tear me down, it actually did so for my good.
Okay.
So, and I say that because to be able to help, it's like it's a positive for me. Like
So,
you can't. I'm not a person that goes down easily.
Got it.
So I'm very resilient. That I do know about myself.
Okay.
Because when you look back over your life and you actually think things over,
right,
and you actually put together in your mind everything that you've been through, the trials, the tribulations, the happiness, the sadness, the anger, you get to see you for who you are.
Okay.
And but they say I'm like a phoenix. I just keep being reborn.
Okay, got it.
Keep going and going.
And even like you grew up in the bar. So you grew up around adults. You grew up around drunk adults. And you had mentioned like you get to see who people really are when they're drunk, especially.
Let me say something. So that bar gave me life.
Okay.
Y'all be surprised.
Now, what bar was it? What bar was it?
Billy Boomers.
Billy Boomers on
family,
52nd and
Locust.
It was on 52nd and Locust in West Philly. Got it.
So my family owned a couple of bars, but that was the bar that I stayed at mostly.
Okay. Now your family owned a couple of bars, so your family was pretty entrepreneurial.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how that started? How they just started owning bars?
I believe my great grandfather had came down here from Georgia.
Okay.
From shooting a man.
Okay.
Who was trying to kill him.
Okay.
that was back when, I guess, like around slave times or,
Right.
Jim Crow times, I guess.
Okay.
But he started a moonshine. He started making moonshine out the bathtub.
Really? Okay.
And he started selling it out of my grandmother's carriage.
Oh, okay. So when they got to Philly, up north, that was the thing to do. That's how they made money at first. Okay, got it. Interesting. So your family owned several bars, but you kind of grew up mostly at
52nd and Locust.
Okay. And what was it called again?
Billy Boomer's Lounge.
Billy Boomer's Lounge. Okay. Okay.
That was the spot. Like like I said, you'd be surprised what your grandmom and grandpops be doing when y'all ain't around. All that hurt hip shit, that's not the case. Give them some good liquor,
Right.
and some music,
Right.
and they're gonna show you what they used to work with back in the day. I done bopped with them. We done had theater day where we actually became the thespians of the bar.
Right.
They had soap opera day. You can't go in there talking shit, playing music because soap opera's on. They cuss you out, they fuss, and they fight.
I guess in conclusion, what was your overall perception of how your childhood affected your life?
It gave me strength.
Okay.
It gave me strength. It points out my weaknesses and for me to make them stronger.
Right.
That's about it.
Okay. And lastly, give some advice to blank-year-old you. So Yvonna, pick any age, talk to her, and what would you tell her?
Okay, so I'm going to go with the age of 12. It's an even number.
What would you tell 12-year-old Yvonna?
That it's okay. That it's all right. Keep going. No matter what, don't stop. Don't let nobody stop you. Save your money and get ready to build your empire.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.